Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Welcome to Studio Chatter. We'll talk about a 21-day family connection experiment. You just might enjoy this.
I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk with our friend Kara from Glen Corn Maze. It's that time of year.
And I'm Angie Murphy, and September is Suicide Awareness Month, and we'll talk about how to help those that struggle.
And we'll talk with Wendy from Tabitha's Way about service. It's a jam-packed program today, coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. What have you gals been up to?
Hi.
Busy.
We've been busy.
There's been a lot going on.
Do
So
you
last
feel-
I saw you,
Yes.
we were masked up together. Well, I was masked.
Yes, the All Abilities opening.
Yes.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Sorry. Well,
That's
the
true.
photo was,
That's
one
true
of
in the
us
photo.
was and one was not.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's all the rage all over the town.
wow,
right
it
now
is.
the All
It's
Abilities part.
always busy, and
It is
I can
packed.
see
Like
why.
every day I drive by, it looks like the grand opening almost.
We
It
were
was
there
so
a
neat.
couple nights in a row, and then Saturday, and then even on Sunday. Then I took my family back that hadn't been through. And Sunday night, I was so happy that I just was crying.
No, I
was
went
just
and I
so
knew it was going to
joyful.
be great, but when I got there, it was even better.
Oh, it's so much better than just driving by and watching it. It looks like big, but you're
Yes.
there and it's just
And,
ginormous.
and I loved how spaced out it is so that you can just meander through it and not everyone feels like they're on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be like an awesome addition
It is.
to our city.
And
really.
we apologize for all the water problems.
Was there a water
Yeah,
problem?
there's just water
Oh.
problems. So there's been a couple time already about the Ford Falls closing down. They're trying to figure out some things. So
Okay.
kinks are being worked out, but
Because it kind of replenishes, like, right? Kind of
yeah, and I don't even
filters
know
through
what's
and then
wrong
goes
with
out.
it, but pretty soon the water will be turned off because it'll be so cold.
I wondered
anyway.
about that. So then what will they do? Just clear it out and that'll just be
Yeah,
just empty space?
for till probably what? May. Anyways.
Anyway, it's fabulous.
Well,
It
it
is
is fabulous.
It really
But
is.
I have to say, probably one of my favorite moments, and this is just one of those moments that you only get once, and you don't ever get to relive that. But I had the opportunity to go to the grand opening with the royalty. So I was there with Azure and the royalty, and she had her special queen there, Karen, and she was in the swing for the wheelchair for the very first time. And just to see the look on her face, and she was a little nervous. You could just see kind of the anticipation. She was a little nervous because that was the first time. It was the first time she had ever been in a swing ever. Yeah. And so they got the wheelchair secure and then let it go to feel that sensation for the first time. And I have that video, and you just couldn't help but the
That's what it's
waterworks.
all about, is
That's what
that.
it was all about. I mean, it was just amazing and so special.
I
and
think
just
we
to hear
forget,
those
like,
stories,
it is,
yes.
like we're enjoying it, but it really is created for everyone's
Yeah.
enjoyment. So that's
It's
really
the
Yeah,
neat.
it was
part.
super awesome. Yep, then to take back my own kids and let them run and play and have fun.
Right,
So
yeah.
of course it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Yep, I've been back several times. I love
And
it.
then cute Stacy and the mayor and city council got to join us at our Friday
That
night
was
game.
fun.
It was really
But we're
neat.
we're no hero. You had some real heroes there.
We
Tell us
did.
who you had.
So we just honored all of our hometown heroes, and so we had city council and mayor, and then we had all of our first responders, which was so awesome. And I loved when they parked in front
was
and then got out of their cars and just lined up on the field. I got like all choked up. I'm like, they're just so great and brave. And then we had Karen Bradford there, who was the Pioneer Spirit Award winner, and she was darling.
Well, you were darling to give her a blanket and those flowers. Did you make those by chance? Like, did you?
No, I wish I
Oh, I
had the
thought that
time.
is Angie's
I know,
work.
it had my little stamp of approval
Yeah.
on it, but it was Sweetbriar Cove, and they did a beautiful job
Oh, those
for
were
us.
so
Yep.
beautiful.
And then a Spanish fork blanket, so she's all footballed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really good night, and even though we lost, it didn't feel like a loss. Like, it was such a great evening, and the boys played just killer. It was
Good.
just awesome.
That's
and it
so
was just
good.
good community. Like Salem and Spanish Fork
Yeah.
were just right hand in hand, and it was a good night.
Yeah, going down there and seeing people on both sides of the
Right.
field that you know,
Yeah.
that's always fun.
And it was just neat to see so many people out. It felt good.
Well, Angie, you're doing a fabulous job.
Well, thanks.
Kudos to you.
I
That's
love
a
it.
lot of work.
I know. I just can't believe that we're like rolling into the tail end of it now, that we've had
Yeah.
6, 7 games and just have a few.
I'm so glad you're
left.
still playing.
I know. I am too. I really did not think that we would get past maybe 3 games.
And here you are.
And here we are.
Well, let's knock on wood.
Yep.
Do we
And
have
the
wood?
fire station. My gosh,
Oh,
you were
beautiful.
there too. And I'm seeing the construction being finished on In-N-Out Burger. So there's just all kinds of newness.
Yeah, and when I was driving down in Canyon Creek, the floor for Hobby Lobby
Oh,
is
okay.
in. So I don't know the time frame on that. I think next spring, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then R&R Barbecue will be next to In-N-Out.
Oh,
It's
and
busy.
And
It's
the
busy.
parking lot next to the walking path.
Oh, yes, on Poplar Lane.
Yes.
Is that not
Oh,
the best?
so needed.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that. Me and
Yeah.
Matt drove by and he goes, I think we should go on a walk. And then he saw the parking lot and he's like, I think it's a sign. We need a park and go on a walk. It just made him all excited.
And it's a nice little parking lot.
It is. It's
You
really
need,
nice.
Have you ever walked the River Bottoms Trail?
I have.
Okay, it's fabulous.
And I
Yep,
think
it is
there's
fabulous.
picnic benches or
Yep,
just
there are.
benches. Yeah, awesome.
So what
So
have you
many
been up
exciting
to?
things to be excited about.
Yeah, right.
So little Gunner is playing soccer, and so that just
Oh.
makes my heart happy.
You stopped
just-
there on the way to filming, right?
I did. Yep, he had a practice tonight. So it is. It's just that kind of that mama joy to be out there and having something
Yeah.
to cheer on and clap and be all hot and sweaty and watching the goal
I know.
kicking.
There's
And
nothing better.
Did
than just
either
being
of
out
you
on the
play
field.
soccer?
nope.
No.
I did 1 year.
And
Oh my gosh, you guys.
there's just a lot of running.
So much running. I never liked running.
No.
Still don't.
No, me
But yeah,
neither.
I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. My best friend said, come on. I was like, never again. That is one sport that all you do is run.
I think my kids each did like 1 year, 2 years of like the youth, and then
Yeah,
we were
that's
just
a
not
tough
cut
one.
out for that.
That
Nope.
is a tough sport. So
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
go,
No,
Gunner.
he really
It's a
enjoys
lot of
it, and he
conditioning.
loves the running, and he's fast, and you know, it's kind of been a lot of following little sister or big sister for a lot of years. So
Yeah.
it's
He's
when
having
it's
his
all
own
about
thing.
him. Yep,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to do that. So
Good.
and it's pumpkin season, and so lots of pumpkin spice latte and great things to be
haven't had
excited
one
about.
yet. I probably should stop at Starbucks
There's a
and get
long
something.
line, so you have to be
Oh my
really dedicated.
My daughter wanted to go get something, pumpkin something. I kid you not when I say it was 13 cars deep. I'm like, oh,
I
honey,
believe that.
I
Oh, it
don't have
totally
time
is.
for this. Like, you go park and you run in and get it. 13 cars.
Yes, I believe it. I'm a huge advocate of the order ahead app for anything. So if
Starbucks
I'm starting to
for
get that way too.
anything.
Even at Chick-fil-A, I do
for
curbside all the
Chick-fil-A,
time.
for
now.
Starbucks, for anything.
You just order that
Yes.
menu and pull up, and then I see all these people waiting in the drive-thru, and I'm like, I could buy order.
Oh, you guys are
Yes.
tricky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But
Yeah,
if you
I
have
agree.
if you have the app, it's always wise to order ahead.
Okay.
Just saying.
Good to know. Well, I'm
All
super
right.
excited about our guest lineup.
Me
Yeah,
too.
We have
Good
some
show today.
fabulous women.
Yep, I agree.
Next on Studio Chatter, it's corn maze season. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. If you watched our birthday celebration from last October, you saw us play at Glen Ray's Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch. So we've invited our new friend, Kara Lewis, back to the show. Thanks for being here with us, Kara.
I am excited to be here.
Hello.
I can't believe it's that time of year again.
I know, it's
That
been a year
been
since
a
we've
year
seen you.
since we lost Stacy in the corn.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Is this your second year then?
This is our third year.
Okay.
Third year.
And you're open now.
Yes, we are open. We had a few moments of worry there for a minute,
Yeah.
but everything's working out.
So, which kind of clicks. So, is there something different that you have to do with COVID, or is that kind of?
We're just following any of the county and state guidelines, which is mainly extra sanitizing and hand washing stations, things like that. We're still, since we're outdoors, we didn't have to do too many changes from what we've had in the past. We did make a couple changes to some activities just so they weren't,
Okay.
we won't have as many like hands-on and
But
things
you're
that we have to
outside,
clean.
so that totally helps, and spaced
Yes.
out. You have
Yes.
lots of different activities.
And we've added in some new activities this year that are, less of the little pieces to clean and more just fun. Come with
Okay.
all the
Tell us what they
Yes.
are.
Oh, well, we have a new mini bell pyramid. We've always had a great big bell pyramid, which we still have.
Okay.
But we've noticed like toddlers, little kids can't get up those great big bells. So we've built them a smaller one that they can play on. We have a fun human hamster wheel, which I'm really excited. I haven't even tried it out yet, but that will be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And just some different games that we've put together. One of our really exciting things is we're putting together some theme days. So every Saturday we'll have a different theme to it.
Okay.
And we're starting off with a Glen Spooktacular and moving on to a You're a Wizard Day. So we'll have kind of Harry Potter themed. You can come dressed as a wizard and have a lot of fun activities that day. We're even doing a Princess Day, superheroes, where we're focusing on some of our everyday heroes in our community.
Okay.
And then a Witches Day, where we're doing a Witches and Waffles breakfast for those that want to attend, and also a Witches Night Out for some of the ladies to come, make a fun craft with your friends, go through our haunted corn maze if you want.
Are all of these on Saturdays?
Yep, these are all the Saturdays.
And is this all on your website, your social media? Where can we
Right
get
now it's out
exactly-
on social media. We're
Okay.
still getting all the information together and getting it out to people.
Okay.
But we just updated the themes today actually on
Okay.
our social media, and you'll see
Ooh, that
every
sounds
week you'll
fun.
see what's coming.
Are those more, they sound like they're more like during the daytime activities?
So the theme will go all day.
Okay.
And then on certain Saturdays, we will have those special evening events. So we're doing like a masquerade party for date night. People can come as a date. We'll have a DJ for dancing, some fun things like
Wow.
that.
This is like a party in Spanish.
I know, it's
like an
going to
event
be a lot
every
of fun.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And then like I said, that witches and or the
Waffles
witches,
and-
witches and waffles in the morning. So if you want to bring little kids, dressed up as witches, we'll have some fun games for them. Waffle Love is coming to do the breakfast for that.
Okay.
And then a witches night out that evening.
So I was
ahead.
just going to ask if anyone wants to decorate their porch for fall. What kind of things do you have to offer for that?
Well, we've always had our pumpkins and our corn stalks,
Okay.
straw bells. This year we're actually doing some bundles where you can buy, a straw bell, a couple of things of corn stalks, and a few pumpkins for only $20.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Yeah, and then
That's
we're
amazing.
doing
Wow.
a deluxe package where you can add on some mums and specialty pumpkins with it.
You're having mums there too?
Yes, we're selling
I'm kind
some
of
mums.
obsessed with those. I almost bought those when I bought my
They're so
pumpkins,
pretty.
and I
Yeah.
haven't yet. But I
I
need
haven't
to.
bought those like in a decade, and this year I bought like 5 different bunches, and they
Yeah,
just
so
talk fall.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we planted over 20 different varieties of pumpkins this year. So
really?
we have
There's that
they're
many?
just gorgeous. Yeah, so many
Wow.
different kinds. They're so fun to. You can go out into the patch and discover them yourself and cut your own, or we have them in our checkout area where you can just come pick one up and.
Who knew pumpkins would be so fun? I know
Yes.
Angie last year got me hooked on like the bluish and the white pumpkins, and those are fun.
We have a lot of those.
Okay.
And one thing we're doing just for COVID is we're actually going to be doing a drive-by porch package. So if you're a little worried about coming to the event itself, but you want to
Wow.
be able to decorate your porch, you can just text a number, let us know you're coming. We'll have it all ready, and we'll throw it in your car
Okay.
Oh
and
my goodness.
send you
I
on your
love
way.
it.
Wow, that's
This is
really
fun. I'm
nice because
excited.
pumpkins are heavy. So maybe
I
you
know,
want to do
though.
that anyway,
No, it probably is the
right?
worst
So
part
can you
about it
bring me
all.
a wagon?
Taking them from the trunk to your porch. I hate that part.
Yeah.
Well, and
But I love to
do-
decorate
I do
them.
recommend if you want one of those packages, don't come in a little tiny car either, because we've had that problem before trying to get the corn stalks
and-
inside or a straw bell.
Okay.
That's something I do forget, that I have a bell of hay to fit in my car.
Yeah.
That's a problem. No, so do things still change up after hours too? Do things become scary in the dark? So you
On
go
our-
into the
right.
corn maze, right?
On our weekends, we do have the Field of Fright.
Okay.
So starts at dark and goes through 11 o'clock. But you have to be in line by 10:45 to be guaranteed to get in. But yeah, our theme this year is horror movies, which is kind of fun.
Ooh, that is
But
scary.
That is scary. I hate scary, but
Especially
maybe.
the 80s. They had some,
yes.
Yeah.
some intense
Jason.
horror.
But, and it's fun though, because I mean the Field of Fright isn't as gory and scary as some of the haunted houses you
Right.
would go to. It's
Okay.
It's fun. We have a lot of jump scares. It's a great activity for teenagers and date night. Just whenever. I mean, anyone can go through and have a good time, get a little scare, but not go home feeling kind of gross.
And then will you guys have food and different things all
Yes.
every day?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
have our concessions. We offer different things such as barbecue pork sandwiches and nachos, corn dogs, kind of
did
the
not
simple
know that.
things. Yeah, and then we also have a mini donut machine, which is our most popular item.
kidding.
I don't know if you've seen those little mini donuts.
Yes, I
and it
have.
flips them over. So that's fun. And then this year we're actually adding some food trucks on Fridays. So we'll have 2 different
My
food trucks.
gosh.
You guys are going all out.
We
Everyone needs to
are.
go to Glen
Everyone
Race.
needs a party right now.
Yeah, we
And
really do.
I like how you
Get
said
out.
you could go every week and experience something different
Something
too.
different. And we do have a season pass.
I was
so-
going to say that.
Right,
Do you
if
have a
people
season
want
pass?
to come, it's only $30, and that gets you in as many times as you want to come throughout the season, and also it includes the haunted corn maze, which is typically $15 on its own. So you could
Okay.
go through that as many times as you want, or just come and do activities. Come one time and do activities, come back and do the pumpkin patch. You know, just
Awesome.
whatever.
That's
and
a really
that's for
great
the
deal.
entire family or one person?
That's one
Per
person.
Okay.
Per person.
Is there a family pass?
We have a discount on Monday nights.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah,
How much is
so
it?
Monday
What's
nights-
your entry fee?
So it's $9 for our all access pass, which
Okay.
gets you into our regular corn maze and all of the activities. We do have a small activity pass, which is $5 for those that maybe want to bring a toddler and just kind of play and not necessarily go out into the corn maze.
Okay.
Right.
So that's $5. And then, like I said, our haunted is $15.
Okay.
I'm
Now remind me,
excited.
the corn maze, was there some design from the sky last year? Is there a new something?
There is a new design, and if you go to our website, glenrayscornmaze.com, it's the first picture on there, and
I love
it says "Farmers Feed the World," and we're kind of, I think people noticed during COVID when the shelves started clearing off how important it is to support local farmers and ranchers, keep them in business, keep food on our table. So it's great big, has a big barn and a silo and a windmill, just fun things to wander around in.
That just always amazes me that they're able to do that. I know it's technology and GPS and it can, but still, that's pretty amazing.
That is.
Very cool. Love that. Can't wait to visit.
I
Thank you
can't wait
so
to have you come
much.
back.
Have fun.
Yep.
We wish you the best season.
Yeah, we really
we'll
do.
all be there
Yes,
with our
we'll be
family.
there.
At least once.
On the slide, right?
Oh, the
and
slide.
in the corn.
And in the
Slide is
corn.
ready for you.
And I'm not
So
going to get
exciting.
lost or keep someone close.
Well, we
Keep
do
track
have a
of her.
GPS that you
Oh.
pull up on your phone, and it will actually show you right where you're at in the
Should've used
maze,
that.
so you won't get lost.
Kara.
Okay.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Coming up next, we'll talk about history, your family history. Stay with us on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Remember the movie Coco and the traditions of the Day of the Dead? Well, October is Family History Month, and we have a challenge for you. Welcome Olivia Jewell with the 21-day Family Connections Experiment to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. We're
Thank you
excited
for
to get to know you.
Yes, we are. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I am Olivia Jewell. I am a mother of 4, and I live in Payson, so not too far from here.
Okay.
And I am I'm highly involved in family history. I've been highly involved in family history for years now. I teach at Roots Tech. Have you guys heard of Roots Tech?
Yes.
It's a big conference they have in Salt Lake. And then I teach at Education Week at BYU.
Okay.
And different local conferences a lot. Just basically trying to help people know that family history is not just an old people thing. It's something we
Get
can
everyone involved.
Yes, we can do it at all ages and at all walks of life. And what is really fun for me, when I teach, I always try to help people understand, like, it can be done in small amounts of time. It doesn't need to be these big, huge chunks of time, and it doesn't have to all be about dead people. It can also be about connecting with your family that's alive.
Oh,
And
see, I love that. I don't have to do 3 hours of indexing.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
absolutely. Now, indexing's so fun, but but for those of us who don't love it, because I'm one of those,
Okay.
there's so many other fun ways to do it. And so I love just teaching, like I've taught at the local Family History Center, the Spanish
Okay.
Fork one, and the Payson one a lot, and just, just helping. Honestly, for me, it's all about helping people in my walk of life go, oh, I can totally do this, and I can have some of these awesome, incredible benefits that come from connecting with family. So yeah, that's
So generally, that love kind of stems from somewhere. Where did your love come from?
That is such a great question. So I feel like there's a big tie to the scrapbooking industry and family history. Often there's a connection there, right? Because there's like a love for photos.
Sure.
So I was working for Heritage Makers, which
Yes,
just
I remember
a
that.
consultant, right? Not huge into it, but it was a way to make some money when I was young and new kids and whatever. And I was scanning. So I would go and I'd go to people's houses and scan their photos. And my sister was like, we should do this for all of Grandma's stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a big project. And she said, let's make a book. And after a little resistance, I was like, that's a good idea. That experience just changed my heart forever because I came to know both my grandma and my grandpa in just such a intimate way. I interviewed their siblings and their kids that were still alive, and their in-law kids, and it was so cool because I didn't know my grandpa very well, and I loved my grandma, but she had passed away a few years before. So it was just this really cool experience to make this
like
book
taking
of her
those
life.
photos and getting like the stories from it and connections, I guess.
And my heart just was totally sucked in forever. And then I had a friend invite me to do a 21-day challenge, just from actually from a BYU conference. They had issued a challenge to do 21 days of family history. I was like, I already love it. I don't need to do it. But I tried it, and it was Thanksgiving. I always tell people, like, that's the dumbest time to start a 21-day challenge. I have kids. But I did it. And afterwards, I realized doing family history is not what everyone thinks it is. Like, it really is. Taking photos and documenting it, We
were justifying our behavior before you came, because we're like, hey, is social media does that count to some degree?
Absolutely, like without question. Yes, absolutely. Without question. That is documenting. That's our modern journaling. You could argue that we are the best journalers of any generation.
Being the best journaler. Well, I did a goal myself. Pete has done a photo a day. So last year I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that. And I just was thinking a simple, take a picture of this, and post it. And it's become more of a journal now to me.
Yes.
And we were just talking about how much time I spend, but in return, I'm not really social mediaing. It's like my journaling.
Yes.
And now people are going back to it and saying, what did I do in March? Oh, let me look at Angie's thing.
I can look, and you can print it into books now, so that you can even have both the digital and hard copy of that. And so it's super
and you could have a private account if you didn't want it to be social media. Do it private.
Because that's what I'm kind of feeling like next year, that maybe I just continue it, but just in a private way. Take a little bit more pressure off.
Help us learn how that ties into the 21 days.
Okay, well, I will tell you. So COVID hits, right? And it's March or April, and I'm just like, blah, we were all miserable, right?
Yes.
And I just was like, I kept having that thought, just do the 21-day challenge. And this one morning I woke up, I was like, do the 21-day challenge, invite all your friends, and measure the benefits. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. But all of a sudden it just started coming together. So basically what we did in literally less than 2 weeks, we put together a team of people who were crazy like me and loved it and just wanted to spread the word. We got a website up and invited everyone in May to do it and to try and experiment with us. We thought we'd get a couple hundred people. We ended up with 5,500 participants.
Wow.
And we only had like a week between our first, meeting where we told people about it and launch. So it was insane. And so because we had such huge results, so they take a survey at the beginning and basically just measure where you're at mentally, like depression, just mental well-being in general, just some very basic questions. And then you do 21 days of connecting, and we have plans. We have an idea generator that's new this time that I'm super excited about, because you can come to the website anytime and you can just get a quick, less than 5-minute idea of how to connect with your family, past or present. So there's just tons of really great resources for helping you connect during those 21 days. So you're not on your own. Like, it's just all these different tools. And then you come back at the end and take that final survey, and then we can measure, okay, did this 21 days help? Now, is it perfectly scientific? No, but it's close, right?
Yeah.
It's close enough. It's close enough to say, hey, there's some benefits here. So basically, it was such a big success the first time we decided we wanted to do it for October with Family History Month.
So do we start right on October 1st?
Yes.
Or, well, I guess you can start anytime,
Yes.
right? But for this specific challenge on the website, you need to start.
And do you check in, or how is that measured?
Great. Yes. So we leave it up all the time. We've decided, like, we're just going to keep it up because it's a great resource at all times. Anyone can do it at any time with anyone, any group or whatever. But yes, we're going to do the group experiments every so often. Right now, we can't commit. We're all volunteers. Which Tara Lynn, she's the one who kind of set this up.
Yes.
She is Spanish Fork native and she loves it. And so we're just local girls that just got together and loved it.
Right.
So it's just fun, and it's spread to the world, you guys. We had 76 different countries hit the website. We had thousands and thousands of views. It was insane, but it's just one of those things where it's like, we need it right now. And with everything that's going on, the connections are just so valuable. You know what I mean? And there's still a lot of people around the world that are still on quarantine, like solid quarantine, you know? So anyway, so you start on October 1st. If you come to our website, it's connections-experiment.com.
Okay.
So connections-experiment.com. And then it walks you through it really fast. It's just like click I'm in, and then you take the survey. We invite you to join the social channels because we have fun challenges and interviews throughout it just to keep you engaged, keep you connecting. So you have your community that you're connecting with your family and your friends, but then you also have our community that gives you that connection too. And it was so much fun.
I could just tell you're passionate about it, like you're making me like,
contagious.
I need to get on my phone
Get on there. You do that right
I gotta
now.
look at it and tell all your friends and family because it is so much more fun to do it together. And we have so many cool interactive things. That's the thing. People hear about it and they're like, how can I help? Let me help. And so we have all these cool tools. We have a 17-year-old who just jumped on and was like, I did it last time. I'd love to help. And she heard we needed an app and we were like, we can't afford it. I mean, we're just volunteers, right? And she was like, I can make an app. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I'll figure it out. So she's just been Googling and she figured it out. And it's going to be live on Thursday.
The younger generation really are fabulous.
Don't you love
They
it?
get it. Yep.
I know. I was like,
She
I love
volunteered
it.
her time and talents for that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what's the app?
So I don't actually
Do you know the name?
remember. We don't have it on the app store yet. So go to our website and we'll have a link there soon.
Okay, perfect.
By Thursday it should be up. So, but that's how it rolls. There's just so much passion behind it. We all just, you know what I mean? It's just so fun.
It's just rolling big. I love that.
Yeah.
So is it just for fun? Is there a cost involved?
No,
Is it no
it's
cost?
totally free.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually got a couple partners this time to help us cover costs because it is starting to get expensive because we have a lot of pretty graphics.
Yeah.
We have an
Yeah, you
amazing
do.
graphics.
It's
Awesome,
beautiful.
your graphics
Did
and
you see
everything.
them?
I want to ask you,
Yeah.
what's like a really cool story that you've either experienced or heard from someone else that just like touched your
Just touched
heartstrings?
me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the experiment, I went through and I read all of the comments because we asked like what kind of, and what I felt like was like there were a handful of huge ones, but my overall what I loved was hearing from just different people who said this changed how I was, like a mom, for instance, said my kids would be fighting every day during COVID. And when we would sit down and work on the family plan together, every time it ended in laughter and happiness. Like we were connecting and it was so exciting. And those little ones, like those were super powerful to read for me because I put a lot of hours into making it. And me, and not just me. I mean, there was a team, there was about 8 or 10 of us that just worked around the clock last time, and we've been doing it this time too. But it's so rewarding. And when you hear those, it's just amazing. But I would say what's been the coolest is when you mention that we're measuring the psychological benefits, I can't tell you how many people have been like, I'm in, I'm all in, I'm 100% in because, and then they'll have, like one of our team members had a friend commit suicide, and she was like, that family history was what got me through it, connecting with my family. One of our team members had PTSD from some things in her life, and family history was what got her through it. Just those connections, the power. And so to me, like, that's the goal. If we can help people, just try it. Like, the term family history seems like scary and like, ooh, that's something that old people do. But just try connecting, like even with your living family,
There's obviously a lot of spiritual connections here. Just like that,
Absolutely.
your heart connecting from generations,
Yes.
this
And
way,
pulling what
posterity
they've
this way.
been through and seeing
Yeah.
how that relates maybe to your current situation.
It
And
makes
maybe
sense.
that's what's helpful in getting
Yes.
people through hard things.
Yes, I
Olivia,
love
you're
that.
awesome.
Oh, you guys
Like,
are
to-
awesome.
To just have this great idea. I love talking
Fantastic.
To volunteer people that
just
just
people that,
have
like,
a passion
and go for
Oh,
knowledge.
you can feel
Yes.
the passion.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
such
even
a
think of that
niche,
Coco
too.
story. I love it. Can't wait to learn more.
Yeah, well,
Best of luck.
come try it. Come do it with us. We would love
Yeah.
to
Oh,
have you.
absolutely.
I'm on board.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Olivia.
I did my job. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me, you guys. You guys rock.
Next on Studio Chatter, we'll talk about an immediate need that you may be able to help with. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We've talked before about the wonderful service that Tabitha's Way provides to our community, but the need for food and volunteers is ongoing. Welcome Wendy Osborne, the Executive Director for Tabitha's Way, to the table.
Thank
Welcome.
you so much for
Hi,
having
Wendy.
me and adding a 4th mug to my collection.
Yay!
4 years, hey.
We have
So
you
that's
here.
positive.
That is.
positive. That's
And we have her here earlier. Like last time it was more around the holidays when those needs are coming in. This year has been a little bit different. How has
Yes.
that
COVID has
affected-
changed that.
Yes.
It has. Well, COVID's been hard for, I think, everyone, actually. But there's been significant challenges for Tabitha's Way specifically regarding needing help with food and volunteers. some challenges with our pantries. We've had to change our entire way that we're operating our pantries,
Really?
which has been a challenge. And that's not unique to just Tabitha's Way. I think we're all, thrown for a loop as far as how we're doing things today.
Yes.
Tabitha's Way, nonprofits probably, in general, is that a fair?
Yes, I would say, well,
okay.
all businesses, but then nonprofits significantly too. I mean, when I reach out to some of my cohorts in the nonprofit world, I've heard that there's a common recurring theme, which is a lack of specifically volunteers. Some other resources, but also specifically volunteers.
Okay.
People are nervous to maybe come out, or they're...
I think it's a combination of things. I think primarily what we're hearing a lot of is that there's a lot of unknowns in our schedules. Like, what is going to happen tomorrow? Or, I've heard a lot of volunteers say, well, my kids are in school, but we don't know for how long. Or, there's just all of these changes in our schedules, whether our kids are going to school, whether they're doing homeschool, whether they're doing remote learning. With our jobs, the way we're working today is different. Some people are working from home, some people have rotating schedules. It's just been a real challenge, I think, for our community as a whole in regards to our scheduling. I mean, I feel like COVID is, it's really interesting. I feel like we had 2 weeks of slowdown, and then it just went fast paced. Like,
yes,
I feel like,
I agree.
Things just went, high
from 0 to
speed.
10 really quickly.
Exactly. And so that's been the biggest challenge. And then also, a lot of our volunteers, at least for our nonprofit, for Tabitha's, has been, we rely heavily on a lot of retired individuals and seniors who come, and they are faithful and amazing, wonderful volunteers, but because they are more at risk in regards to COVID, and also because our process has changed. Our process is actually right now a drive-through process, which involves a lot of making pre-made kits, so a lot of lifting, a lot of walking, a lot of standing.
Which is harder.
And then it's outside. Some of it's outside. And so you're talking about standing out on the pavement where it's warm and it's
So
hot.
you just went through 100-degree weather, and then in
Yes.
3 more months you could be at 30 or below.
We could.
Wendy.
And you're still
So-
not able to have them come inside?
No.
Not
And unfortunately, so we are under the purview of the Health Department, the Utah Food Bank, and USDA, and so we have a lot of regulations that we have to follow, and there's not any way for us to have the safe social distancing practices to bring people back into our pantry. And then also, before COVID, we had to have also a lot of volunteers that were working in our pantry, and which we still need a lot of people with our new process as well. About 10 to 15 people per shift is what's needed.
Wow.
But we have to segregate our volunteers. So we're limited in the number of volunteers you can have within stations, which we now have stations. And we have a process, obviously. Volunteers can't be under the age of 14 because they're outside near heavy equipment and vehicles. And then we're recommending not over the age of 59, just because, again, there's a lot of lifting, a lot of standing, a lot of being outside potentially. So that's our recommendation as far as the ceiling, as far as age. But definitely need help. We've had several days where we've had no volunteers, and it's really hard. It's really hard. So. So I just want to, put a call out to help, to say we really need some volunteers, need some hands. COVID has, again, put us all on a little bit of a tailspin. The need is great. We've seen a lot of families coming in and needing help. And we've seen a lot of families that have been just amazing to step forward and even volunteer to come pick up food and take food out. So we actually have a process now to get food out to deliver, but we need help in our pantry is where our greatest need is getting hands, helping make those kits. We have made it easy for people to sign up to volunteer. We've moved all of our shifts to using Sign Up Genius through our website. So if you just go to tabithaswaysouth.org and click or /volunteer, and there's a link right there. You can sign up and you can see all the available shifts.
So if you sign up once, you're not committed to have to come several times. You could just say, I know tomorrow I have time.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
exactly
sign
it.
up.
We prefer regular volunteers, but we're realizing in today's climate that is very difficult for families to do with what's going on. And so we're like, if you can come and serve, please do. Just sign up quickly and come in.
Yeah, is there a screening process or anything like that, or if you sign up and show up?
So we ask you to just sign up on our online form.
Okay.
And you can do that even a few minutes before you come. But we do have to, of course, have everybody for contact tracing fill out their information,
Okay.
just name, phone number.
Right.
make sure we ask the questions, has anybody or anybody in your home been sick? And then we take their temperature.
Perfect.
You have to wash your hands, put on a mask, and wear gloves. That's required. But
That's pretty typical nowadays with almost
that's
everywhere.
all.
So, Wendy, you have been reaching out to some local religious organizations for more volunteers and donations.
We have.
How has that helped?
We have. Well, we haven't reached all of them yet,
Okay.
so several of them. But definitely, we had it in the beginning of COVID in March. Our two largest food drives that we have throughout the year were canceled, and so we have been short on food donations. And so we have been reaching out to different organizations and asking them
Okay.
if they would commit to donate, bring in some food. Because of COVID, we have self-serve food donation stations where people can drop off their food, and we have to quarantine it for 3 days, but not produce, praise God, but we can, everything else
Okay.
we can, receive. So we are in need of food. And that we also have on our website several ways where people, if you can't come in and volunteer, that you can still volunteer through doing some kits and some of the collecting some of the supplies as well. So if you can't come in, we still could use your help in other ways, but we definitely need a lot of hands-on help. So
There's a lot of opportunities
there is
at Tabitha's. So people just need to hop online, look at the different opportunities to give their time, money, talents.
all those things, yeah. And just I want to say thank you. Tabitha's Way wouldn't be where it is today without our community and the things that they've done, and I just want to encourage them to keep on going. We need some help, so thank you.
And that's probably going to increase even more during Christmas and the holiday months where you normally up your game anyway.
Yeah, we always see
so
an
it could
increase
get
during
tricky.
that time frame, and we think as COVID continues to drag on, unfortunately, that increase will just continue to go.
Wendy,
Sadly.
well, we only have about a minute left, but can you tell us a little bit about maybe what someone in need looks like? Like, what is the family situation? Is it someone that's homeless, that they've been homeless for 5 years?
Actually, no. What we're seeing a lot of is just families that are going through temporary hard times. And so a lot of the families, maybe their hours have been just reduced from work, or there's been some changes. So a lot of it's just families that are coming in. Actually, 50% of the population or more are children that we serve. So just local families. I mean, it looks just like you and I, that maybe, their car broke down, or maybe they're having an issue in regards to paying their rent this month because they don't have the work hours that they need, or they've been asked to cut back somehow, and it's just been, challenging. And so you're really helping your neighbors when you come in and you volunteer or you donate that food. It's going to somebody in our community that's in need.
I love it.
Well, that was specifically one of the reasons I know we wanted to get you in a little earlier this year before the holidays, because it's usually the peak times during the holidays that we see that you need a little more help. So yeah, and just that extended help a little before that time, and definitely during that time, if anybody has that time to give back for volunteers or just for the donations. Could certainly be needed, it sounds like.
Yeah, the need is great, and even sooner this year, so come on
Okay.
down.
It's a year-long process. With
Thanks
this
for
one,
all
yep.
you do.
No, thank
Yes,
you, ladies.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much. I so appreciate
Thank
being
you.
here.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll talk about the dark realities of suicide. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We are all dealing with the world in a pandemic, but suicide continues to cause pain in our society. To talk more about how to find help, welcome Hayley Thomas to the Chatter.
Thanks so much
Welcome.
for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. This month is Suicide Awareness Month, and you were referred to us from one of our good friends, Susan Chapman, to help educate us more more on the topic because of the loss of your son. So will you share a little bit more about your story?
Sure. So I lost my son Alex in 2015. So it's been a little over 5 years ago. He was 13, almost 14. It was just 5 days before his birthday. So, and that is just something no mom or parent, as you know, the worst thing that could ever happen. But after the initial thing, I started to think, what am I going to do with this experience? Like, how can you go through something like that, and it must be, what can you do from what you've learned? And I just kind of let that sit, and then a few years later, one of Alex's really good friends, his name is Caden Garcia, had, through something his dad was already working on, started this project called Your Tribe Clothing, where they would print t-shirts, and on the t-shirts you would pick a word that, that resonates with you, and they use a semicolon. So, for example, I wish I would have worn one of my shirts, but one of mine that I chose was kindness, and wherever there's an I or something, you'd just put the semicolon. Other examples were like running, or whatever it is that you do that keeps you going and is this positive thing in your life. And with the proceeds of this little thing that they started, they came in the circles of Susan. So that's kind of how she comes into play. She was doing these QPR trainings. She'd been, started that here in Spanish Fork, and they were like, this is a great thing. We can take these proceeds and we can take these QPR trainings to schools, or so they started doing that. And so when I saw this, I just thought, that is just a great thing. This is like a friend of Alex's, it's not too big for me. I just knew I had to just do something that was simple and that, meant that would just resonate with me. So that's how I met Susan. We've done QPR trainings through there to schools. We've also done them a lot here in Spanish Fork through like the boards and stuff. People, there's been several suicides in the past few years with, with kids, and so it's been great to be able to even just get in to those, wards and families that are feeling that, and kind of just give them. That's the point of it, I think, is just to show that there's hope. What can we do to help prevent, and what can we do to give hope to, these poor families that have lost, or, or people that are struggling already in the middle of it.
Club that you ever would want to be in.
Exactly.
But I think that other parents or family members turn to you for a lot of hope and comfort to just visit with, talk to.
Yeah, another thing that we are able to do, Susan and I, and there's some other, women, great women that we work with at the city too, but we have visited some of the families. So we go into their homes, after when they're ready to, and just, sometimes it's great to just actually look at a face or talk to someone that has been through it, because that's, no one knows except for unless you've been there exactly what that is. So we've been able to visit with some great families, and so that's another thing that we've been able to do. It's been great.
Well, it's certainly one of those topics that nobody ever really wants to dig into the nitty gritty, or talk about maybe the dark side. Maybe the signs of how things maybe get to that point. Maybe the anxiety or the depression. What maybe are some of the signs? How it
or
maybe
things
starts.
That we maybe overlook or feel like,
Right.
they're just sad, or they're just having a hard day, or the friends at school are not being nice. Are there really more signs that we're not seeing that we should have seen? Yeah,
I think there's several things, and that's one thing that's great in QPR. We do kind of talk about different signs. One thing that stands out is sometimes people just throw it out like, oh, I just want to kill myself or something, and a lot of times we just brush that off,
right?
And that's just, you just can't, because you never know. So we really stress, take that seriously, and depress them when they're pulling back, or sometimes they'll start to, maybe like something that I found out later is like my son would, like, he gave away his hat and his sweatshirt, or so friends might notice, why are they just kind of saying, why are they giving me these prized possessions? That's one thing, they might give away prized possessions. Or
did you see signs with your son now looking back?
I knew he was struggling with depression for probably about a year before. So we had, done some of those things. We had him in counseling.
Okay.
We had him on antidepressants, and trying to do all those things that,
trying
all the
to
stuff,
get to the root
trying
of
to
it,
do
right.
all those things, and we never found his answers, and so that's why I just think if I can talk to one person and find answers for one child that, there's a lot. When you look at statistics, we see a lot of teens and we hear about that, but some of the major groups are more, midlife crisis men and older men. So those age categories, sometimes, we don't really realize that that's really a place that we need to really pay attention as well.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 13 just seems so
Like life is just beginning.
Right,
But
it
it
just
is,
seems
I think
so
that junior
young.
high years are so hard because you're going from the elementary where I feel like we kind of, not baby them, but they're in a protective zone maybe a little bit more. Though I know my son was bullied a little bit at that age. But I think junior high, everyone's trying to find who they really are. And all of a sudden, all these different groups of people are coming together from different walks. I just feel like that's a huge transition.
Yeah, it really is. I knew kind of signs of depression, but something I didn't know as much about that I've learned more about is anxiety. So
Yes.
a lot of the things I couldn't understand, like, why don't you want to do these things? Or, and then when I started learning about anxiety, I was like, oh, that's maybe something I could have learned more about and treated,
That it's real, that it's not just you're
Yeah,
nervous to do that. Like
he didn't want to go to school, which I'm like, what kid doesn't want to go to school? Or my stomach hurts, but that it was a pretty big deal. And I just, you think, do you push them? Do you, whatever. So I think if I could have known even a little bit more about that, I mean, like I said, I don't know what his answers were, but that's why these things and these trainings and all these resources that we can find, and the state is doing a lot of great things too. We have, I think I saw today that they just approved this. It's like a 911 that you can call. It's another, I don't remember, 988 or something like that,
I just saw that.
That just passed. And so,
and I don't know what the digits are now either, but it's close to the Utah Safety app, but it's 3 new digits that have been approved. But yeah, there are so many different age groups, but you have to wonder, like, in a pandemic where things are so overwhelming anyway, and then you add maybe just the anxiety on top of that, or maybe depression with losing a job for the adults, or maybe there is someone being bullied at school, or just life just being so overwhelming in general, how we
it
take that
intensifies those
right.
feelings of hopelessness, I guess.
So we've had some great, stories about after people have attended a QPR class, they've, what you kind of learn what you need to do too, right? And really just talking to them and being even direct, like, say, if you're worried about someone, ask them, are you contemplating, like, come right out. We're sometimes afraid to say, are you thinking about killing yourself? Like, that's a hard thing to say. And so just have those conversations with your kids, come right out. And, people also worry, like, oh, if I bring it up, does that mean they're more likely to? And that's
Right.
definitely
I know.
not.
I think that was a myth.
Yes,
That
definitely.
the more we talk about it, then the more it happens,
Yep,
right?
and yep, definitely a myth. So talk
And
to your kids.
you're still doing QPR trainings even during COVID.
Yeah,
correct?
we've modified them a little bit.
Okay.
We did one just yesterday where it was an award, and
Okay.
we had it in the chapel where people who wanted to come could come and sit far apart.
Okay.
And then we also had Zoom, so people could just come in and we have moderators as well, so we have a few people there, and then we have people online that can help ask questions and moderate that. It was a little different, but I think like, especially like we said, this time with the
People are
pandemic,
even
like
more
we need
anxious, they need connection.
to be doing this. So we've been trying to find ways to do
Well,
that.
that QPR training, I took it, I think 2 years ago or so. And earlier this year, my younger brother in his 40s was going through a major midlife crisis, and 2 times tried to take his life. And the first time, I was so scared to go talk to him, but because of the training, I felt like I had the tools to be brave enough to do it. Does that even make sense?
Well, for sure. In the class, if you've been to one, we actually do a role play because.
Yes. With role play, I hate that. But
Right?
when you're doing it with people and they said, you have to ask, are you suicidal? Like, no, you don't flat out ask it like that. You beat around the bush.
Right. How are you feeling? But yes, but sometimes you need to be asked directly so that you can
Yeah.
answer the yes or no.
And
Yeah.
it just takes a lot of, if you are like sharing that burden and not just having to
Yes.
keep that quiet.
Because
I think it's-
everything becomes bigger when it's in here and here all by itself. When you start to talk about it, I feel like it becomes a little bit smaller, or there's someone that connects with you that can help bear it.
Yeah.
Well, is it fair to say then? So now that your brother has experienced that he made those attempts, and it's more comfortable to talk about it now. Does he talk about it more? Is it more comfortable to talk about it? Is there therapy? Is it more therapeutic?
We don't talk about it now. I mean, we did during that, but I mean, I check in more, and
But ongoing, for somebody, I think it would be probably more comfortable to confront it then.
Or is there shame that goes along with it now? If you get like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're afraid, oh, like, yes,
If
I
it's-
did do that,
yeah, if
and
it's
now
an-
I'm okay, you guys. But is it harder for him to go back?
I don't know.
And
I think that's the scary thing is, none of us have all the answers, right?
Right.
We're just doing our best.
Well, that's, we didn't talk about what even QPR stands for,
Yeah.
but it's similar to CPR, and we have its question, persuade, and refer. So as with CPR, you're not the doctor, you're not the surgeon, you don't have the skills to save their life, but you have the things that you can do to get them to the help that they need. And so that's what this is as well. We want to be there, we want to be a sounding board, but we aren't the professionals, so that's hopefully,
So like
with
you're
your brother
the first
or whatever.
line to get to them,
Yeah.
and then it's to find them the help that.
And then hopefully they can find that person that they can connect to, and maybe it is so awkward to talk to your family, but if they have the person that they can connect and feel like they can be open with about. So
With October being Suicide Awareness Month, there's a lot of things I'm sure that we'll be made more aware of throughout the month, and websites that we need to check out, and news articles and links and people
just
to talk to
educate
just be
ourselves a
educated.
little.
So
Yep.
thank you for being one of those pieces
Yes.
and one of the tools in the toolbox that people can maybe make those first steps.
Thanks so
And we're
much.
sorry about the loss of your son.
thank you.
Definitely.
We miss him.
Heard that.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Today we shared messages of discovery, fun, service, and hope. Could it get any better?
That was a good, full show.
It really
we
was.
went like full circle. Like we
Yeah.
talked about some really hard things, and then some really fun.
Yeah,
So
you're
where
right.
should we start?
So we have a lot of work to do.
We do.
We need to do some
lot of
service.
people need our help.
We need to get into our family history. We need to get educated a bit more about some suicide awareness.
Be in
Maybe
touch
reach
with-
out.
I think we automatically go to teens.
Yeah, we
But
do.
when Olivia said, we need to remember that it's like middle-aged men.
Right.
We need to be aware.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's a heavy topic. I think it's a topic people don't love to discuss.
Well,
No,
it's super
hard.
interesting because I think I heard a statistic the other day, especially during COVID and the pandemic and just the way that it's affected everyone in general. Like, it's kind of one of those things that no one really wants to talk about. Like, everything's fine. On the surface, I'm fine, we're fine, everything's fine. And really, maybe things aren't as fine as it seems. Maybe we reach out to that friend, maybe even video chat them. Maybe it's one of those things that you do a double check.
Well, I think everyone's nervous to share like the not good parts.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying social media or whatever, but I think it's hard to share like I'm not perfect or my life isn't looking like that. And how do you like initiate that to someone else? Like I'm having a really bad day.
But I
And
will
you know,
say-
you just kind of be like, I'm fine.
This year, though, or in the last 6 months, if I ask someone, like, how are you? And they say good, like, I'm shocked. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're not
in
in a
2020,
funky
you're
place.
good?
Right.
And so I
Or maybe
have
it's
found,
open the door.
I
You're
have
right.
found recently that I'm like second guessing if they're really that good. Are you really though?
And I think it's given us an out, like things aren't great, and I think it's allowed more conversation about, no, my life is
True.
hard, or I'm having a hard day or something.
But
because
this year has
there's-
been bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it has, honey.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, let's just hang
right,
in there
let's
together.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really only sort of changed in the last month. It's only kind of starting to get back to normal.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
right.
you're not just really grabbing your girlfriend and going out
No.
to lunch or to dinner or to
Well,
the
because
movie.
it's still like
or
this.
It really is.
is.
Not like it was. I mean,
And we don't know what it's going to be like in a couple of weeks.
No.
Our numbers are high. It just...
The numbers keep changing.
Do we plan for like holidays?
And my father-in-law was like, I don't think we're getting together for Thanksgiving. What's everyone's plans?
Guess what? We need
there
to
we go.
stop.
Okay, I guess we're done.
No. I just have about a minute and a half left. I swear I had to restart this thing like 5 times. All right, Natasha, lead off with something.
Okay. So maybe it's even, the way we used to sit.
Yes, which I miss, by the way.
I know, I do too.
I feel like you guys really are 6 feet apart.
We are.
Well, this is our distancing, but really heavy and good topics today, though. But on a happy note, it is pumpkin season, and we're going to get to the corn maze, and we're going to enjoy our families, and we're going to carve some pumpkins. And there's a lot of happy things to look forward to.
And I would say go do it.
Yes,
because we don't know what winter could look like. So if we
may
can
get
out
shut
now,
down again. We need to get out.
Get out, go have fun, celebrate, if you feel comfortable with that. Yeah. It is a beautiful time of year.
It is. It's gorgeous. We took a drive up the canyon last night and looked at the leaves and ended up at, can't remember the lake. It's just up Payson Canyon.
Just Payson Lakes? Or a different one? Maple Lake?
Maple Lake.
Okay.
It was gorgeous, you guys, and the reflection with all the leaves. We took a gob of pictures. I'll probably be posting that tonight.
Okay.
These are the days. You're a t-shirt
But it made me
in
stop
the morning
and ponder.
and a
Sweatshirt
sweater
at night.
Yeah.
Yep. It's beautiful out there.
I'll see you guys at the corn maze.
Absolutely.
Let's get lost.
Don't you get lost.
Okay, I won't.
GPS.
And we have a birthday still to celebrate coming up soon.
Next episode, maybe. We'll see what Pete's schedule
Where
for
we're going to
us.
be.
Yes. Good times ahead.
Happy 4
Well, thanks
years.
for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Stay safe.